welcome to the Everyday Board Game Podcast with your hosts, Daniel.
And Daniel.
Daniel, how you doing?
I've been doing pretty good. It's been a long weekend, but not too bad. Oh man, I've been watching a lot of the Olympics too. The both the men and women's hockey games were just amazing.
Okay, spoilers real quick. I know you were really waiting for the women's hockey team.
Why is it a spoiler? This happened when this airs like 2 weeks ago.
I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen it yet still.
Yeah, so the women actually won. It was funny because they dominated the entire way up into the gold medal match. Mm-hmm. They ended up, they were down 1-0, like with 2 minutes left in the third period, which is the final period for those who don't follow hockey.
Okay.
And they scored what is her name? Something Kelly. She is the greatest Olympian women's hockey player ever. She scored the most goals, and this is the one that set the record for her, was this one. This game-tying goal, after they pulled their goalie, and you just recently learned about them pulling the goalies when we went.
Yeah, how that works. Yeah. That's a wild thing.
Yeah, so they pulled the goalie, put an extra player on the ice.
It's like the catcher just running out to the outfield because it's like, yeah, I can do this now.
Yeah,
it's like, what's going on?
Yeah. And so you take out the catcher and put in an extra outfielder is basically the equivalency of it. And so they pulled the goalie, and she scored with like a minute and something left in the period. So sent it into overtime. And they ended up scoring the golden goal, which ended up... Because sudden death, first goal wins in overtime.
Oh, yeah.
And they scored the golden goal and ended up winning the gold medal match. And I was like, okay, that was an amazing match. And they had it at prime time period in Italy. So I was able to watch it. It was about noon here. Oh, so cool. Able to watch the game while it was live. Then the men's game happened, and both the men and women faced Team Canada for the gold medal match. And this is the first iteration of hockey with the NHL stars since, I think, 2000 something, because they stopped using the NHL stars because they shut down the league for 3 or 4 weeks while they go play in there. So they shut it down. This is the first time we get NHL, and the same thing was happening. U.S. took the lead. They took 1-0, and then Canada ended up tying it, I think, at the end of the second period, if I remember correctly. Sense. And then they go into overtime. And you think they are going to lose the game because the best player on the ice is breaking down the ice, the rink, and takes a shot. The Hellebuck is one of the best goalies I've ever seen in the Olympic Games. He stopped pretty much everything Canada tried to throw at him, made some of the best stops ever. And then they poked away the breakaway that McDavid had and ran it down the rink, or skated it down the rink. And then took a 2-on-1 shot and ended up scoring the golden goal in overtime again. So the USA won gold both times in overtime against Canada, both men and women. It was cool. Such an amazing game. And what's interesting is the guy who scored I don't know if it was it was the game-winning goal, Jack Hughes. Earlier in the game, I think in the second period or the third period, he had his tooth knocked out.
Oof.
So all you see is like a bloody mouth, missing half a tooth, and just screaming because he got that goal in there. And it's just like, that is the most hockey thing I've ever seen.
Yep.
So yeah, other than that, the Olympics has been fantastic. In fact, I'm not a big figure skate guy, but I was watching.
I've heard that there's like a really famous like figure skater now who like didn't, or like she like basically retired. And
then, came back, got tired of the pressure, and when she said she'd come back, she's running the show. She's doing it how she wants. She's going to skate how she wants. She doesn't care about medals. She just wants to go out there and have fun. And because she skated so loosely, my wife was actually watching as well. She was like, "This is amazing. You could just see that she's just enjoying herself."
So comfortable.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So she was doing some tricks on there. I was like, holy crap. And ended up winning the gold medal because she was just so loose and comfortable out there. And she's like, I don't care. I'm making experiences for the other people. The gold is nice. But like the girl who won bronze for Japan, she was like celebrating with her because she took over like the big sister kind of role.
Yeah.
Mind you, she's 20 years old.
Right. Yeah. The big sister at 20 years old. Yeah.
I'm like,
the elder of figure skating,
Yeah, so she's enjoying herself, and I just been watching a lot. Who was the other one I was watching? Kim. She didn't make she got silver.
Chloe Kim.
Kim. She ended up getting silver.
I'm already familiar with her. She's awesome.
She is.
Yeah.
She almost got a three-peat, a half-pipe gold at the Olympics, but she missed out winning silver. This lovely girl from, I believe it was Japan, ended up winning the gold, and she was doing some crazy stuff on the half-pipe. I'm like,
I need to watch that. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm like, I gotta watch
my thing is like, there is no way I am ever going to be that talented on a skateboard or any type of board, surfboard, snowboard, any board. I am nowhere
board
near
plus environment.
I am nowhere near coordinated for that. I mean, I trip over on my own 2 feet, and these people are jumping and doing 900s and stuff like that, 1080s in the air. No, thank you.
Chloe Kim, she always struck me like the reason I'm a fan of her is because like you see like the men who compete in men's snowboarding, and they're crazy, right?
Oh yeah.
But she's one of the few women, no less, that can go against them and actually regardless of gender, she can hold a candle to them.
Do you know what she reminds me of? And I was telling, I forget who I was telling. One of my buddies who was real big into snowboarding. Chloe Kim reminds me of the women's version of the Flying Tomato. Shaun White just do stuff on a snowboard that you wouldn't expect. Yep. And she does that same thing. She's doing stuff that you just can't fathom that people can do. They can put their bodies in that kind of situation. Yep. And so that's what she kind of reminds me of, the woman's side of like what Shaun White did in snowboarding.
Speaking of, have you ever seen Shaun White on a skateboard?
Yeah.
He's a professional skateboarder too.
Yeah, he's ridiculous. Good too. Yeah. He's a much better snowboarder, but I don't know how that guy is so talented when it comes to a board on his feet.
Yeah, exactly. He's probably surfing too.
Yeah, probably.
I'm sure
that would be hilarious.
Yeah. We go win a championship there too while you're at it, bro. It's like,
Yeah, but I've been having a blast with the Olympics, but other than that, it's just been a pretty chill weekend, other than dealing with my wife who was under the weather, so taking care of her.
Sure.
Making sure she stayed in her room, this way I don't get sick.
Yep.
I quarantine my wife.
I don't get sick. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, screw that. I hate being sick. That's like one of the things I hate the most.
Yeah. I hate you getting me sick.
You've gotten me sick more than I've ever gotten you sick.
I'm just saying I hate you getting me sick. That's all. I'm not saying that it's more common.
You gave me COVID.
I'm still not convinced on that. I'm sure it was the wind from Arizona that did it. That
came all the way over here.
Yes, I think that's what happened.
A week after your daughter had COVID, you passed it on to me.
I mean, I never got it that time.
Yes, you did.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, you came over to. I have visual evidence of you having sniffles on a podcast. I can pinpoint the time frame.
Well, the semantics or whatever.
Oh man, we've been on a bit of a tangent, so let's get back to what we're doing today.
We got a big episode today. We're going to be talking about our top 8 debate today, which is always a fun one. And today we're going to be talking about Allplay games, something that we haven't done yet. Yeah. Surprisingly, because I know every time we've previously looked at it, like we've toyed with the idea a couple years ago, when back when they changed to Allplay from BoardGameTables.com,
which is was interesting. Their name. They didn't transfer all those things over, so that's why we were kind of confused by the list.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I found one of my honorable mentions is one that was originally from Board Game Tables. But they changed their name over because, Allplay, they're all encompassing. They sell tables, they sell bags, they shelves, all that stuff, right? Yeah. So they're a cool company, and we appreciated what they do. Yeah. And now we finally played enough games where we could do honorable mentions and debate adequately a lot of the games that we
also, they're big about, bringing over older games and redoing them. There's a couple that didn't make the list because I haven't played them. Like Through the Desert has a new version of it. There was another one that just had a massive version. Mm-hmm. Another Reiner Knizia, I think, that they did from them. But also, they bring a lot of these Japanese games over and put them in a pretty package. I think half our list are stuff that came over from Japan.
Sure, yeah. Yep, some of them are reprints, some of them are from different. I just give Allplay credit because they're you can tell they're kind of like a one and done kind of company. They print one production of it, and if it's really popular, then they'll keep doing it. Yeah, but more likely they'll just be like, all right, let's just get a bunch of titles and then print them out.
And then they do like these. These massive runs of them too, so it's not just one game. They'll do 4 games at a time or 6 games at a time. In fact, one of the games on my honorable mention is not out yet, but I'm very intrigued by what it's doing. Yeah, okay. And it's because it's a reprint of a game. I still haven't played it, but it's intriguing me for what this is. And it's just, I got the email about it for the pre-order aspect of it. So I was like, I wanted to talk about this because I like this concept of a party game. I just don't know how well it would go down.
I'm curious. All right. Well, we'll get into that soon. We also asked our viewers online about the honorable mentions, and we'll get into those soon as well. But before we get into any of those, we have our sub-segment. Daniel, what have you been playing?
2 games I'm going to talk on my list here. One you can see right over my shoulder right there that we just recently played. This was during Gamehead Geek's pick of the night. This is a game that you decided I don't need to own it anymore, but I will be willing to play it more as well.
I like it. Yep.
And this is Puerto Rico, specifically the 1897 Special Edition. This is the newest version from Awaken Realms in Alea Games, I believe. Yeah, Alea. Yep. And it is also co-designed with Ravensburger as well, apparently. So they're also tagged to it. And the designer is Andreas Seyfarth. Seyfarth, whatever. Sorry if I butcher your name. I really do appreciate it.
If you're watching this, we apologize.
Yeah, it's a fantastic game. I love this production of it. And yeah, it's over the top when we were playing with like all the miniatures, the trees and stuff like that. It's like that is not necessary. But their acrylic tiles just in that game alone is fantastic. And if I recommend anything, it's that. If you want that blinged out version like all of us do, but it's also the version that I'm not taking out of the house. If I'm playing it here, I'll play it with the bling out version. Or else I'll just take that box that has all the acrylic tiles in it. Yep. And that is perfectly fine because they did a phenomenal job with this game. I've always loved the mechanism of I do something and I get a really cool power from it, but everybody else gets something out of it too. Earth does it kind of... Puerto Rico has been known for it. Their other smaller card game version of this, San Juan, does that as well. And I've always loved that mechanism. And this is where you can see it shine the best. It's like, oh, I'm doing this, but I don't know if I want to pull that because it's really going to trigger stuff for damn it Dom over there. Yep. But I really need this thing over here. And so, but if I do this, then I trigger my power and I can get this and one random out of the bag. So, so it just, I love that concept of this game. And I think it's such a good game. I'm glad I have this version of it because my issue with the original Puerto Rico, the one we originally played because you had it, is it was so uncolorblind friendly. It was driving me insane. My only gripe with this version of it is that they didn't really give us much distinction of what the trees are. So like, this looks like a cocoa plant, but this is the cocoa plant because it's black and matches the black tile. But this looks like a cocoa plant, but this also looks like a tobacco plant, which kind of almost similar. So it's like a little confusing, but it's still a phenomenal game. I think it's probably one of my favorite non-Feld Alea games.
Cool. Awesome. The first game I want to talk about is a game that I found at a local bookstore. It was used. It was called Ready for Takeoff. And it's a small little game. I'm always like half intrigued but very skeptical if a game about a theme is designed by somebody whose profession is that theme, right? So, for example, like Rock Hard in 1977 was by a rock star. Okay. So it was skeptical. The game was amazing. This one, Ready for Takeoff, was designed by a pilot. And this is about the first to launch their 3 planes. It's from Blue Orange. And the first one who does it wins the game. Very simple. So you have 3 different types of planes. You have a small, medium, and large plane. And you have a runway, like made up of a few tiles. The first segment is A, then B, C, and then D is effectively takeoff, right? Okay. The original title is Lucky Captain, which is why I was looking that up. And so what made this interesting is that you're just trying to play cards. What if you play a card to go to the next segment? Like, let's say I want to introduce one of my planes to the A section. Well, then I just have to play an A card, right? But if I play a single A card, I can move my small plane. 2 A cards is the medium plane, and 3 A cards is for the larger plane. And so I do eventually have to play 3 of a kind for all 4 letters to get it off. Yeah. And so you can play all of one type of card on your turn. Or you could just discard 1, 2, or 3 cards and then draw back up to 6 cards no matter what at the end of every turn. There's a couple delay cards which you could play on other players, which only if they're in sections B or C, you move them back 1 space. Oh, okay. You can't knock them off of the board, and you can't prevent them from doing the actual launch. Gotcha. But one of the cool things about it is that you have Lucky Captain cards, which is what the original name corresponds to. Those can be either wilds, or you can use it to cancel out the bad thing. The bad thing. So having that card at the ready for you, yes, it's good to have it so you could play it for a combination, but it's even better to cancel people from preventing you from doing it. There was one other variant that we played. We actually played the beginner mode on purpose because I read the rules about it. There's also 8 weather cards. There's 3 sets of 2. And each pair either says it's clear for takeoff, or the small plane can't launch, or the medium or the large plane can't take off. Meaning, as soon as you play your D cards, you flip over one of those, and if it just so happens to match your plane, then you just lost those cards.
Oh, jeez.
And as soon as I saw that, I'm like, nope, that's not happening. Because there's no benefit, there's no gain.
It's too lucky.
Yeah, it's a 1 in 4 chance that you're just like, oh, I'm just going to lose my cards and then just not do it. It's not a catch-up mechanism. It doesn't make the other players feel clever. So the rules in the rulebook do say the Florida variation, which is a beginner mode, just play without the weather cards. And we had a lovely time. Nice. It was a really lovely little game. I mean, I like simple little stuff like that.
All right. That sounds pretty interesting.
Yeah.
The last game I'm going to talk about today is an interesting game. I played it. I enjoyed the gameplay of it, but I ended up selling the game just recently. And this is Allplay, Dawn of Civilization. This is a deck-building area control game from Ares Games and a co-design of Paolo Mori and Ole Steinis.
Okay.
It's a deck builder, area control, as I mentioned. But it's a different type, or it's the original type of deck building, really, like the Dominion style, where it's just pools of cards that you're pulling from. You have a level 1, you have level 2s will give you points, and level 3s or will give you some points, depending if you're the level 2 and level 3 will give you points for the end of your game, if you're the first or second person into that stack. But honestly, it was fun. I enjoyed what it does. I'm a sucker for deck building games. I'm a sucker for Paolo Mori games. I'm a sucker for area control. I mean, I thought this would have been perfect for me, but it just lacked any meat to the bone. It was a bare bones deck builder, fairly simple. Yeah, asymmetrical in a sense. Like I had one card nobody else had in the deck that kind of told me how I should play my game. Yeah. Same with everybody else. They had their own style of cards as that card, but it was out of the 10 cards, I only had one different card. Everybody had one different card. Everything else was exactly the same.
Cool.
And then as you're deck building, straightforward deck builder, okay, I use this, and now I get this, now I got this research card in here. And now I can put this out, and then I can build out here, and I take control of this land, and now we're going to fight over this, and I'm going to take over this land. That kind of thing. It's just like, it just lacked really, it's a beautiful game. It just lacked any meat to the bone. Sure. I think sometimes when you streamline as well as Paolo Mori does, every now and then, and of course it's a co-design with Ole Steinis, it's going to get down to the bare bones where it's just not lacking any charm or skill, not really skill, but charm or love. It's like, I have better deck building games I'd rather play, Clink Catacombs being one.
Sure.
I have better area control games that I want to play.
Take your pick.
Tsukiyumi Full Moon Down, Rising Sun, those kind of style of games. It plays fairly quickly. It's got some decent looking artwork. It's fantastic. It's quite different. I like what they were going for. They were kind of going for that medieval kind of art style, but also fantasy kind of thing. So there's kind of a blend of the two. It hit fine. I rate it probably a 5 or a 6. I think nothing's bad about it. It just didn't have that oomph that we were looking for, especially how many games I play all the time and how many games my other group plays as much as this group plays. I think it would probably go down better with this other game group because they're more into the deck building and area control stuff. But it's like, I don't have the space for it, so I ended up deciding that it was just, there is no life to it. I don't need it in my my collection. So
makes sense.
Allplay, Dawn of Civilization, great game, good game. Have a fun time with it. Just, I have limited space, so it's going to take something really phenomenal to take over.
Exactly. Cool. And the last one I wanted to talk about was a game that you introduced me to that I ended up picking up a copy. And man, do I like this game. Flip Tunes.
I figured this was going to be on your list.
From Thunderworks.
Especially after you said you've played it with a couple of groups now.
So what happened, actually, so I played it with my son the day I bought it, right? Which was over in Dallas at Game Nerds. So shout out to them. I picked it up. I played it with my son. He liked it a lot. And then I ended up explaining it to my wife, and I was like, I think this is something you might like. And she's like, all right, sure, yeah, you always say that. And I'm like, no, this is basically Quacks of Quedlinburg, the card game. And as soon as I said that, I was like, I'm not even going to say anything else about it. I'm not going to try and push it on you. But when me and the kids are playing it, just watch us and you'll see exactly what I mean. And then so she was watching it. She was like, okay, yeah, that does look interesting. So the fact that I was able to teach her the game without teaching her the game, that helped out a lot, right? And it's all mostly simultaneous.
Yeah.
So, we've been bringing it to restaurants to try and play. Like sometimes we'll play during lunches or while we're waiting for our food. That game is slightly too long for that. So we've attempted it 3 times and never finished it. But yesterday we went to one of our favorite ramen places, and they tend to put a lot of loving care into their food, so they take a little longer. We're totally cool.
He's basically saying they're slow.
No, no, they are worth the wait, is what I'm saying. No, you could tell they only prepare when it's ordered, right?
Yeah. That's the best way to do it. This way the ramen doesn't get too.
That's right. It was just, and it was delicious too. We played out the full game. It got right down to that last flip. I destroyed them. I felt good, but I think my wife liked it, and one of the big things I found that you need to counteract. The only thing that is detrimental to the game is I know some people will be put off by the fact that you flip one more time after the game and it's triggered, and what wins, right?
Yeah.
I always tell people, it's like, look, this is what's going to happen. We're going to have this exciting build-up. Hopefully you've refined your deck, because that last round, it's pure excitement. We're going to flip. We're going to see what happens. That's going to be good. I was like, it's not about winning or losing. It's about that excitement. Yeah. And I really heavy way into that. It's going to be super lucky, by the way.
Yeah.
But you might have just this really fantastic moment.
Yeah, the combos might just hit for you.
They might just hit, right? And while that puts off some people, if you give them that heads up right at the beginning, I think they weigh into that excitement at the end. So Fliptoons, I can't wait for Fliptoons 2. Me and my kids were already discussing alternate cards that they could do, and we're like, yeah, they could do this, they could do this one, they could change this one, they could swap cards, they could do
later this year.
Yeah, huh?
Later this year.
Did they already announce it?
They're going to be doing an expansion of some sort that goes into this game, and I think it's just more stuff.
All you need is more stuff. That's all it needs, right? And it's going to be top tier. Yeah, dude, Fliptoons is Jordi Adon, right? I believe is the designer of it. That is by far my favorite game that he's ever played. Or made that I've played. I've played a handful of them. It hits the right kind of combo silliness that I enjoy. So Fliptoons, love it. All right, and now let's get into today's episode. Allplay games. So what are your thoughts on Allplay as a company?
As a company, I like what they're doing. I find it interesting that they're literally one of the few companies that is all-encompassing. They got board games. They have some of the best game bags. In fact, their game bag saved us during Board Game Geek Con, because we took it every time, and if we got stuff, I just threw it in my bag because it's the one with the wheels. Yep. So I was having a little suitcase with us, and I was getting compliments. Everybody's like, oh, we should get me one of those bags because, it helped us. And then I ended up buying a miniature market bag, and I like the bag. I find it fine. Mm-hmm. I hate the clamshell design. Oh my god. I don't blame you. That annoys the mess out of me. I love the top-down, drop-down that the Allplay bags do. And so, I was just like, oh man, this is so freaking annoying trying to get the games in here while it's clamshelled out. And I'm like, I got to zip it up partially. Right. And then fight around the zipper to get the games in. Yeah. But
I love my Allplay bag. And to add to it, you remember how I bought another bag from Board Game Geek bag.
Yeah.
The zipper busted. Oh, it's already done.
Oh man, that sucks.
My game's done. Or my bag is done. That lasted me 2-3 months.
Yeah.
So it's like...
My miniature market's not that bad. It's just the clamshell design annoys the crap out of me.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
But
I'm just a little salty about that.
The tables look nice. I've never had one in either tables, and I've seen their tables. Board Game Geek Con is one time we saw them. Gamma Expo, we saw them there as well. Yep. They have some really nice tables. The board game shelves are really nice. Damn it, Dom has some pairs that he just hasn't built yet, but he's got some board game shelves. But they look really nice. If you're fans of the Dice Tower, the ones that they have in the background, those are the shelves that Allplay make. Yep. And those look fantastic. If I didn't use these wire shelves, I'd probably try to go there. Yep. But as many games as I have, I need these wire shelves because... the sinking of those wood shelves I had on my old shelf, I'm like, no, the weight of these games, I need this strength. So, but they're games too. They dabble in almost everything. They bring over trick-taking games from Japan. Yep. They bring over some old classics back into the table. They bring a mix of party games, some Euro games. So they're all over the place for me. And you lost your pin, huh?
No, I lost my coin. All right, here we go. We'll do that coin of doom. Yep. Oh, well. No, yeah, I like their stuff. I remember when I went to Origins, was one of the first times that they started selling their $20 bag. Yeah. And I was the first one out of all of us to have a game bag. And that was a save there. They were selling them. They had crates and crates of them that were built, some that were not built. They just had stacks of them. Yeah. By the end of the con, they were almost sold out entirely. It was such a good deal, such a great value. And I still have that original bag, and that one's holding up better than most. And, as much as I want a game table, I just haven't yet.
Oh, yeah.
Trust me, I do.
The wife and me have been talking about either talking to a furniture builder or finding someone that does these board games that are about the size of my table right now but where it can do the leaf on top. This way I can have a dining room table as well, because we don't have that much space in this house for me to have my own designated game table. And so that would be the best bet, and that's something we've been talking about doing, like replacing the table that I have up there, which I had for my old place, and it's a collapsible table, so I can drop it all the way down to a console table if need be. But we've been using it as a dining room table. It's fully extended. It's 6 feet by 4 feet, I think, or something like that, or 3.5. But yeah, so we're looking into those tables as well. Yep. And it's just, they look really good. And I love that little felt in there. I'm more of a guy that prefers the playmat style rather than the felt style in there. Yeah. So I probably would get the ones that would offer the playmats, which they do have on their tables.
Yet another thing.
Another the playmats as well. Yeah. So
and they're all encompassing. The intriguing thing is that they also have 3 price points for how they print their games too. Mm-hmm. Like their games are very specifically. It's either in a larger $40 box, a smaller $20 box, or an even smaller $10 box, which is just like a deck of cards.
They have a 4th size box now.
Do they really? Which is?
I don't know what it is, but they had to create a new box size for Sail Legacy.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah. It's more of like a square-ish, but like larger kind of thing.
Yeah. My only issue with their box sizes, and it's not a big issue, is like I can handle the small square boxes, even though those things are chock full. Everything is like, if they did expansions, you can't put it in that box kind of thing. They don't normally run expansions for their stuff. The other thing is these longer boxes, as you see right over my head, for right there. Mm-hmm. I have issues with these long boxes. They just don't fit right on shelves. They're not like that universal size for the long ones, like you see from the Alea games. Sure. They're just a little more compact, a little bit shorter, so it's like you can't evenly space them on there properly.
See, they work for me, for what I'm trying to get out of it, but yeah, I don't disagree with that.
Yeah, well, Trick or Treat's the worse than them about it, because theirs are like skinnier this way but longer this way. Like those and it's like, weird. Come on, people, let's just universal box sizes, please. At least they don't go crazy like the Renegade when they made Junk Orbit with the stupid circular
with a tube.
Yeah. Or G.A.M.E.R with their tins.
Yep. Well, we won't get into. We're having fun now. Let's not get into. Yeah. So Allplay though, we have 8 games that were the highest ranked that Daniel and I picked,
and both played.
So let's go over those real quick. We have our number 1 ranking, River Valley Glassworks
versus Alibis.
Our number 2 ranking is Things in Rings,
going up against our 7 seed Rainbow.
Number 3, Factory Funner,
going against our 6 seed Lure.
And our number 4 seed, Ghosts of Christmas,
going up against our number 5 seed, A Message from the Stars.
Yep. But as always, we post this on our Board Game Geek, or on the Board Game Revolution group on Facebook. And welcome, Matt. Thanks for joining us in. And we are going to be breaking down theirs, but we allow other people to add in other games. Mm-hmm. Why is that?
Just to see their take on it as well, and some of these games that could have been on our list that we haven't played, and so it'd be interesting how we look at these kind of these games as well. So, because some of them I played, some of them you haven't played.
That's right, and some I've played that you haven't played. Yep. They might overlap on our honorable mentions. And Night Cage is a dope game, by the way. Sounds like a random comment for our audio listeners. Matt just pointed that out. Yes, Night Cage, we love it here. All right, so let's go over some of the honorable mentions from our listeners on the Board Game Revolution group.
Okay, number 1 here added was by Christopher, and this is Mountain Goats, which they just recently had a Kickstarter or a game found for Mountain Goats Legacy.
Yep. Which I am debating on. I kind of wanted it, but because I do like Mountain Goats. It's basically like a Can't Stop but portable. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
But I do like it.
Can't Stop has a portable.
Huh?
Can't Stop has a portable.
It does. It does some different stuff.
I know,
too,
and I played it,
but not totally different. Dawn added Twinkle Twinkle.
I've been looking at that one. That is interesting. One there, and it's intrigued me when it was on Kickstarter. I didn't pull the trigger on it.
Right. Yeah.
Marissa added Pies.
Pies. Yep. Jamie added Sail. Have you played Sail before?
No, I have not. I've been wanting to. But it's hard for me to play 2-player games at my home, and this is a 2-player trick-taking game. Right. And I know that's not in your wheelhouse because you're like, I'm getting tired of trick-taking games.
Yeah, I am. But I have played Sail, though.
How'd you like it?
It was fine. Like, it reminded me very similar of, like, Fox in the Forest, right? It's a 2-player trick-taking game, except less abilities and more, there's a board movement thing.
Yeah.
And so it was like, it was fine, you know, but like I didn't notice if it did anything new. And I'm a sucker for legacy games, so I'm curious to see what the reviews are going to be for that. Maybe I'll delve in.
And the fact that they had to make a bigger box for whatever they're doing with the legacy game, that's kind of intriguing. Zach added Sequoia, one I have not played. That's one of the original ones, right?
Yep, one of the original original 3, Mountain Goats, Sequoia, and GPS, and they don't talk about GPS anymore. Like, they actively refuse talking about GPS. It's kind of funny. You should bring it up and see them get annoyed by it. Anyway.
Okay.
Michael added Chomp.
Now, this one intrigued me a little bit, but the way it looked like it played, I'm like, it's kind of... I like the concept. Like
tile overlapping kind of area control thing. It kind of works.
All right. Well, that's everybody's honorable mention there. You want to talk about our honorable mentions?
Yeah. Shall we start with the coin flip? Yep. Here we go. A Coin of Doom.
And I'm starting in my first pick is I'm going to go ahead and throw out a game that I have not played yet, but it intrigues me. I like the concept of this party game. Mm-hmm. And it's a reprint from a Button Shy game.
Okay.
And it's called Movie Night.
Oh, yeah.
And the concept of this game...
It was originally Apropos Movie or something like that. Yeah. I have some of them. They're pretty good.
And what this does... is that you're playing a card out and you're trying to name a movie that follows that. And so let's say we name a card that says a movie with a female lead in it, and we name a movie. Mm-hmm. Let's say Terminator 2, which has Sarah Connor in it. And so you then, okay, that's acceptable. We get that card. And then the next one that comes up is either a movie that has that same concept, but doesn't have this. So it can't have a comedy feel to it, or it can't be a comedy kind of thing. And so we have to come up with a new movie that has a female lead that isn't a comedy. And if we get that, when we start adding cards as we're going through the thing. Mm-hmm. And so this one intrigues me because I love those style party games. And this is just one of those, like, we're going to get together, have a good time at night. Yep. It's either a wind down or a start up to a board game. Mm-hmm. And so let's just play this little quick game that's going to have fun. And if you don't want to do movies, they're making a second version of this. It's called Book Club. Yep. So if you have book readers or audiobook readers, that kind of thing, you could get them this one, and this is going to be just as well for them. So me, I like films and I like books. I think I'm going to pick up both because I have.
They are both available at our local Barnes & Noble.
Yeah, I just saw that. Yeah. Yep. And so I'm going to pick up both. Okay. I love this concept, and they come in the little small boxes.
Yeah, like $10.
Yeah, so it's a fantastic looking game, and it intrigued me when I saw it. I'm like, I could have picked some other games, but the fact that this new one intrigues me in that party game system was where we're working as a group to come up with an idea. So I like that, and this is called Movie Night.
I bet you would actually really like that now that I think about it, because I have Apropos games and I have some Apropos movies, which is the Button Shy version of it. And that makes actually a lot of sense. I bet you would really dig it. All right, the first one, speaking of the tiny box game, this is one of the smallest ones that they have. It actually has one of the fewest cards. This is Fairy.
I figured this was going to be on here.
Dude, I didn't even have to look it up. I knew this was
I saw like that it wasn't on the top 8, and I'm like, Fairies is going to be on his short list.
Absolutely. I am a huge champion of it. Because this game is so awesomely stupid. It shouldn't be that fun. And when I show it to people, like, they all have the same reaction. They're like, how hasn't this been thought of before? It's high or low.
Or fairy.
Or the same color, right? And so, like, it's just the dumbest thing, because you flip over a card, and then we count back from 3, 2, 1, and you just say what's going to be the next one. If it's higher, it's 2 points if you're right. Lower, it's 2 points if you're right. Same color, which there's 3 different colors. There's 7 cards of each color. If it's the same color that's next, then you get 4 points. But if you catch one of the 3 fairies by doing this symbol, you get 7 points. Any incorrect answer is just only -1. You keep track of your score with your other hand on a card. Thumb. You're just pinching where your score is, which is a little small. It's kind of janky, but it's brilliant. Like, it works every time. I had it in my pocket for the longest time that I would just carry to to groups. We play it all the time, and it's great. Like, I get requests to bring it out.
Yeah, you know what's funny about that? This makes me laugh every time. Like, it's a fine game. I never even actually played it, but I could actually do a top 8 debate on it because I watched it played at Gamma Expo. But damn it, Dom actively dislikes this game.
Oh, yeah. No, it's really just an activity, but that's okay.
But here's my thing. It's like, it's what you were talking about earlier on the top of the podcast with Flip Tunes. It is the right kind of dumb.
Yeah.
As long as you're saying, look, it's not going to be the greatest game. It's not going to be the best thought process game. You're just going in here to have fun. I agree with you. This is perfect for fun.
Yeah.
All right. Next game on my list is one that I kind of researched just to kind of remember. It was on my short list, but it was also on their short list, and I just remembered that it was on the list because I made the list, I think, on Friday. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, okay, that's why I started researching this game, because for some reason I thought it was in the top 8 debate, and this is Pies. I do enjoy this one. It's kind of trick-taking-esque, but it's not a true trick-taking game. It's basically whoever played the high card gets first pick kind of thing. Uh-huh. But if the first player plays a card, second player plays a card, and so forth, we go around the table. Then we determine who wins the trick, per se. Mm-hmm. They get the number 1, someone gets the number 2, someone gets the number 3 and 4 if you're playing a 4-player game. And what you're doing here is you're trying to collect enough ingredients to get different scorings. There's certain things that need 2 of the same, or 3 different, or you need to have the ability to steal something to make pies, in essence, to make these pies and make these bigger cards. And you're playing it over 3 rounds, 3 different decks, which become more and more powerful as you're going. And so you're doing all those things, but there's also these little cool powers of these cards. Some of them will give you the dog. What the dog does is stop people from who get the steal power, and now they can't steal from you because you have the dog, and that blocks it, so they have to steal from somebody else. Mm-hmm. Or you get these cool little pie things that are 3.14, because pi.
Of course. Yeah.
And you can add them to any card, and then it adds a number and breaks ties. So if I play an 11 and I have this and someone played a 14, we're both 14, but I got the 0.14. So that card beats your card now. I like that aspect of it, and when you're trying to decide when to do it. And then if you're the last person in a round, you get to have the plum. Get a plum to add to your fruit pile for your pie as well. So there's a bit of a reward on there. And you just play over 3 rounds. Whoever has the most points at the end of the game wins. I like this game. There's been different iterations of this one. I think Allplay did a really good job with this one. It's one of the few Allplay card games that have stayed in my collection. Yep. Fiction I got rid of. There's another one that I kind of got rid of. Rainbow is on my short list. It's either that or Panda Panda I might get rid of. I mean, they're both pretty small. I don't know which one I like more. So I don't know what for sure, but this one stays because it's such a simple little card game, and so that's why I like it. Pies.
Okay. My next one is QE, which is originally...
I figured this was going to be...
This is
the... And that's the one I was looking for, and why I couldn't figure out where it was.
Because it was on board game tables, yeah. So QA stands for Quantitative Easings, which is... QE is a better title. So on this game, it's a dry erase board game, and you have your own money. You are each one of 5 different countries, and you could just make as much money as you want. That's just how it works, right? Mm-hmm. Because you could just go, okay, I want $1 billion. Cool, that works. You could do that. And what happens is one player comes up with a baseline, basically like how much they're going to bid on the tile. A new tile comes out every turn, and you're going to get points in a lot of ways, whether what kind of economics they are, flat points, if they align with your country, stuff like that. And then that person, let's say you're the first person to bid, you bid $10,000. Okay, cool. Everybody else then writes down any amount that they want, literally any amount that they want onto these.
Someone could say $10 million.
Yep, passes it face down to the player who put the initial bid, looks at it, and hands it to whoever bid the most. All you get to know is that whatever bid amount that you did, if you lost, then somebody else bid higher than that, whatever that was. It's all secret other than that. But the thing is, you have to keep track of all of your winning bids, because the player or the country that has spent the most money over the course of it has gone into economic depression and therefore can't lose because they have just printed too much money and it's inflation. Or it can't win, yeah. Regardless of whether they had the most points or not.
Yep.
So you want to get the most points without spending the most money.
Kind of takes the concept of another game that they printed just recently. I don't know if it's your other short list game, Reiner Knizia, Money. has that. Yeah, no, money. It has that concept. If you spend the most money,
you're thinking high society.
High society. Sorry. Yes. Yeah, thank you.
Money is like 4 different versions of money, and it's kind of a weird set collection thing.
Yeah, no, it's high society. You're right. Yeah. He's got a lot of bidding games.
He does. He does. He was the first one to do that.
But here's another thing about that too. I just recently saw a video. There's another smaller version of Raw that they just did. Razzia, that 25th Century printed, who also did Raw. I was like, okay, sure.
Yeah, sure. They're just trying it with a different market, I guess. Yeah.
All right, and the last game on my list is another one of their small box card games, like the little small ones, and it's another one of these trick-taking games, but I really do like this one a lot. This is probably my favorite out of the small box line card games. You know, it came out around the same time as Panda Panda, it came out at the same time as Rainbow, and this is a trick-taking game called Prey. And would you stop dropping that coin? And it's called Prey. And so what happens here is you first start a hand, and you're playing as the prey, the predators. And so you're trying to play the highest card and stuff like that, but you're also looking at your hand as like, okay, I have to win so many tricks based on my die roll here, so I can either win 4 tricks or 2 tricks. I know I can get the 3 tricks for sure if I go wait till the prey side. So maybe I got to start playing my predator slide low. This way, when I flip the cards over halfway through the game, I have a lot of high cards. I have an 8, I have a 9, I have whatever the high numbers are. And I love that concept. I think that is one of the best ways of doing a trick-taking with a twist concept kind of games. And it's one of the simpler ones to look. It's like, we have 14 cards in our hand. We're going to play 7 out as predators, and then you're going to flip that hand over, and those are the cards you're going to have playing in the last half of this round. And we play through it. Whoever has the most tricks at the end of the game wins. It is such a simple game, and it's something, and I love the Native American theme and artwork on it. And what's kind of cool about it is one of the things I'm talking about taking with us to play when I go to actual historical ruins, Mayan ruins. It's kind of Native American themed, Native Indo-American themed kind of game. And so I want to play that basically in the Mayan ruins. And the fact that it's in such a small box, it's not going to take up a lot of space. In fact, I have a small box bag that I got for Christmas that I could put these little card games in. So that's kind of interesting for me.
For sure. And the last one, it was high society, but I actually changed it partway through because I was like, literally high society is kind of like a version of that. Whoever spent the most money is eliminated automatically, which is hilarious for high society, which I can see why they liked so much. But no, I actually changed it to Panda Panda because I really enjoy that clever little idea. In Panda Panda, you're trying to get one of like 5 different hands of cards. If you get exactly one of them as your hand, then you win. And the way it works is that, like, it could be anywhere from, like, 2 cards, or, like, if you get, like, weird combinations of, like, kind of common or somewhat uncommon, or really rare cards, or straight of all of them, or whatever. But the thing is, you can't have any extra cards in your hand. So on your turn, you're either drawing a card, or discarding a card, or winning Panda Panda, right? It's a super clever little game. And one of the cool things about it, and what I like, at first, I didn't like it, because if one player plays a 1 or discards a 1, then everyone has to pass a card to the left. So it creates a great tension where you get the winning combination and you have to wait a whole turn or a whole round of everybody playing until it comes back to you. And the problem with that is, if anybody plays a 1, there is a non-zero chance that you will completely just lose it all. And so that whole turn, you play down a card, like, all right, I'll discard this card.
It's a good thing I had this extra one.
You're trying to bluff it because all you're trying to do is like, it's like, play cool. Like, don't play a 1, I'm going to kill you. Don't play a 1, and it creates that such great tension that I don't see in many card games. So I love that fact. So Panda Panda was my last.
I kind of agree with you on Panda Panda. I think Panda Panda is my second favorite of the 3 of the small box that we originally talked about. Prey, this one, and Rainbow. Rainbow is probably my least favorite. It's one with the most complicated rules.
Yes, Rainbow is my least favorite, but we will be debating that later on.
But everybody else likes it. Before we get going, we missed the comment here about Cell on the honorable mentions from our audience. Jamie said Cell is absolutely his favorite here because it's a great two-player co-op trick-taking game that is entire sentence that should not work, but it does. You and a partner are playing a trick-taking game to steer your ship as you're running from the Kraken. Who takes the trick determines which direction the ship turns, and also if you can shoot back with your cannons. You can't talk once the cards are dealt. If this sounds remotely interesting, give it a try because it works. It's a small box $20 game, which is fantastic about Allplay is that they're really good price points. Yep. And then he also mentioned that he's super stoked for Sail Legacy that just finished up its Kickstarters a couple months ago.
Yep, cool.
With that being said, we have some interesting games to be talking about here in a minute. What is your thought process on all these games that we have on here? It's a good mix.
Yeah, it is a good mix. It's going to be a wild debate because these are... The thing about Allplay is that they don't have a defined style of game. Yeah. Like they have all sorts of different ones, and they're willing to try new things, which is really clever for them.
And everybody's like, oh, but they're the card company. I'm like, no, they have more than that. Like, our number one seed, River Valley Glassworks, is like nothing else they have in their line.
Yep.
And the Through the Desert is something completely different than they've ever had it throughout their line as well.
Exactly, yeah. So they're always willing to take risks, which I appreciate. Sometimes they're misses, sometimes they're hits, but we'll just figure out what the best one is.
And most of the time, they're inexpensive. Like, these bigger box games are $40.
Yeah, at most. Yeah, which is good. And now, also, we debate these. Even though we are of the opinion that we enjoy these games, we take our bias out of it because we have
as much as we can, as our viewers know.
Yeah, we do our best, right? We have our patent pending gamer criteria that breaks down into 5 categories. We'll get into more details as we bring them up, but the first category of those is game immersion. And that stands for, is the game fun to lose? Player interaction, whether that's table talk, role-playing, whatever, getting into the theme of stuff, and memorable moments that stand out.
The A in our gamer criteria is art and production. The art, the pieces and components, and the graphic design.
And the M in our gamer criteria, I picked up that chopped coin, my apologies, is meaningful choice. Impact on other players, depth of strategy, tactics, and or skills, and do arbitrary choices or AP negatively impact the game?
The next is E in Gamer, and this is ease of play, simplicity and familiarity of the mechanism, the likelihood to get to the table, whether it's through the mechanism or the theme, and is it easy to learn, understand, and or teach?
And finally, the R in our gamer criteria is replay value. Length of time and scaling well, minimum number of plays for the full experience, and expandability, whether that's confirmed by the publisher or designer or any other form of confirmation.
I'm trying to think here. I think there's only 2 games that have expansions.
Yep. Yeah, probably.
Yeah, it's our number 1 and our number 6.
Yep. So we'll see.
They kind of got a shoe in just on that segment.
Yeah, kind of. Well, yeah. But the replay value is where that's going to come.
Yeah, that's really what's going to happen.
What's the variability of setup and all that stuff.
Yeah. So it's like, if it's like, oh, that does that and that does that. Well, this one has an expansion. Oh, okay, I guess this one wins.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Oh, that's silly. All right. Yeah, what are your thoughts on these?
There's only one game on this list not that I would refuse to play it, but there's one I don't care if I don't play it again. And it's just because it gave me the biggest freaking headache I've ever had playing a board game. Yep. And it's not even that difficult of a game.
No.
It just gave me a headache for what's going on. Oh, God. Mm-hmm. Oh, God. And we'll get to that when we get into that.
I'm surprised because the original box was like that big.
Yeah, and they crammed it all in that little itty-bitty box.
Yeah, so we'll see about that. All right, let's get into our first round. This is River Valley Glassworks versus Alibis. As always, I'll flip the coin of doom. Daniel will pull from the cup of doom, and that will show which side we are debating for. I'll start with you, Daniel.
All right, well, I pulled both out because they're eating each other for some reason, but you get alibi. Oh, I get alibis.
Yep.
I just took which one was on top. All right, so for me, alibis, as much as I like River Valley Glassworks, and I like both of these games a lot, alibis is my favorite out of the 2. One, it's quicker. It's just as simple as River Valley Glassworks can be.
Sure.
The scoring is, and it's co-op, and I love these kind of party cooperative games. Alibis is basically you are a group of trying to figure out who is the criminal mastermind that did the actual crime while all these other characters alibi each other out. Mm-hmm. And so what's going to happen is you're going to have numbers, I think it's 1 through 9 for a 4-player game, something like that. And then there's some more numbers if you're playing at a higher player count. And 2 of these characters are going to be tied together by words, and you're going to get a mix of these cards. It's like, okay, I have this guy, I have number 1, and I have number 3, and they have 2 words in front of them. Think like code names, where you just have like those word cards, and you have to come up. Like So Clover, which is another game that we enjoy, you have to come up with a word that ties those 2 games. So something can say, like, this person has a racket and this one has a ball. All right, so tennis is the best guess I can give on that thing. And you're basically trying to whittle down, as a group, who is the one that ended up stealing the thing. And so you're like, okay, this guy did this, and this guy this, that, and their clue is that, so I think it's this person and this person. Oh my god, why did you give that clue? Because that clue ties to this one as well, and now I don't know what hers is because you gave that clue over there, which fits with that, oh my god, this kind of thing. And it works. Just like Slow Clover, it works so well because you have these 2 things, like, how do I make these 2 work? And you're trying to do this, and then you're trying to figure out which ones are not, who is the mastermind, and that can just ramp up. It's like, oh, because I think it's 1 and 3 for you, and I think it's 2 and 7 for you, but it could be 7 for you as well, but I think you're 3 or 6 and 5, that kind of thing. And it's like, okay, and it's this, and then everybody's like, oh no, I was this, and he's like, yeah, I'm this, and you're like, oh my god. And you have to do this over 3 rounds. You're trying to get all these tokens out. This way you have enough tokens basically to win the game. And I really do like what this does, that you get into it, you get into that game immersion that we were talking about. Like River Valley Glasswork has a tendency to be more of the solo multiplayer solitaire kind of game. The only time you really interact with the other people is when they're pulling stones off the river and sliding it down and stuff like that, and you're like, oh man, he took the stones I want. Whereas this one's like, why would you give that clue when that was there? And he's like, I'm sorry, it just made sense, and you threw me off over here. You get into that player interaction that works really well compared to a lot of these games. The art production for such a small little card game works really well on this one. The meaningful choice, I just think, is stronger in River Valley Glassworks, and that's the big one there. But I think Alibi's slightly easier, not much. It's just a combination of different games that just works really well together. In replay value, River Valley Glassworks does have 1 expandability, but Alibi's plays so much quicker at a higher player count too. So I think Allplay should move on, but let's hear what you got to say about River Valley.
River Valley Glassworks is kind of their quintessential, like, great strategy game. It's family friendly, it works really well, and the deluxe components were beautiful. Like, they had actual glass bits.
I have the glass stones.
Crazy. Yeah, and I'm going to get into, like, the colorblind friendliness of it here in a bit, because they really did something that I don't see in any other thing. But first, River Valley Glassworks, the way it works is you're trying to collect different glass stones from this ongoing river that is flowing into the lake, and as you're picking up these pieces, you're putting them onto it's like you're panning for them almost, but not quite, because that's not quite how it works. But that's what you're doing. You have this board. The farther to the right you go, the more points are worth. The farther up you go, the more points are worth. But as long as you're not leaving any gaps, because you can only hold a certain number of them. I think there's like 9 different colors, and there's 8 different spots.
Something like that. Yeah.
Something to that effect. And if you get excess, then it's negative points, unfortunately, and you can't place it down unless you have the previous gaps filled, which is pretty clever. It works really well. It's a really simple
you have
game.
to build left or right, and only one color can go up the column.
Yep, exactly. So it's a really interesting little puzzle, but the way it works is you are either taking some stones out of the lake, which there would be 5 stones. You take up to as many as you need, and each of the stones have little shapes on them too. And the river tiles have a shape of what kind of stones that they accept. So when you play, you can either take some stones, like I said earlier, or you can place some on one of the river spots, which will let you decide either the tile to the left of it or the tile to the right of it. You take the stones from that, and that goes into your scoring board. Then that empty tile goes down to the bottom of the river. It fills in the gaps, and then suddenly now you refill it with a few more stones. Very simple, very clever, beautiful mechanisms, right?
Yeah.
And let me talk about why this earns art and production. Andrew Bosley art, for one.
Oh, yeah.
But those glass stones, like I said, they're plastic in the base game, but glass in the original, but we're talking base game normally. They put on some of the colors that were similar, they put little speckles into it. And they have different, like, particulates or whatever inside of it specifically just to remind you, hey, this one is supposed to be like this light blue versus this teal. Even though the colors are similar, that is why they're different. Mm-hmm. So you can still tell the difference even if the colors look similar to you. I appreciate that level of detail. Yeah. That's not something that every company does or even...
We're looking at you, Alea.
Yeah, it's something that not every company does or has attempted to do. So I appreciate that fact. It's a very family-friendly game. If you like stuff like Ticket to Ride or that level, Azul or any of those others, there's a reason this one is so popular. I personally think this moves on, so let's break it down into the into the
I have
debate.
no problem with that.
All right, art and production, I think that is River Valley.
Yeah, I agree with you. Don't get me wrong, the art is beautiful in Alabama.
Fantastic. It's just the rest of the production, it's fine at best. Game immersion. Do you feel like you're playing in a river, or do you feel like you're actually sussing out suspects?
I think, for me, Alibis is more the thing because of how the table talk is going on in there. Both are pretty fun to lose.
The theme is pasted on for that one, but you're right. That is a really fun thing.
It's like, why would you do that?
Yeah, why would you fill in these two words? What is going on here?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, that's fair. Okay, I'll give game immersion to Alibis. That's cool with me. Meaningful choice, that's River Valley. Okay, not even close. Ease of play.
This is the tough one for me because both of them are pretty simple. Like I said, with the simplicity and familiar, the mechanism, you think something like Azul, you think of something like, I guess, Sagrada at times, like when you're just like this simple drafting mechanism. My issue with River Valley Glassworks is the scoring on this one because of how this triggers and stuff like that. That's just a nitpick more than anything. It's not super hard or complicated. It's just like, oh, this goes here and this goes there. Yeah. But you want more black going up this way because you're going to get more points that way. But you don't want to pick up that purple stone now because then that's going to go into your useless pile, which is going to be negative points for you at the end of the game. Yep. And it's like, okay, where am I at here? And then just counting up the scoring. The scoring tends to take longer than the actual gameplay sometimes. Whereas Alibis is like, if you know you have these tokens done after 3 rounds, you're good. Yeah. So it's much simpler on that aspect. I'm more than likely to get Alibis to the table than I am River Valley Glasswork, even though the cutesy art and stuff like that, because the box too. Such a small box, it's not as intimidating as some boxes are. Sure. Yeah. And so people are like, oh, that's pretty simple. And I'm like, hey, and it's a good mix of codenames and So Clover.
Right. And I worry, the only thing is with the title like Alibis, I almost wonder if there's like hidden trader or bluffing in it. That might be an initial thought that people have, but I haven't seen that. I just speculate. I wonder if that's a factor.
And I could tell you, like, with my other game group, I've played Alibis more than River Valley Glassworks. We played it one time, and we like it, and I'll bring it back eventually, but we've played Alibis a couple of times, because it's one of those ones that are just easier to get through, and you can play through a couple times of it. So, I think ease of play, Alibis wins, but I think it's just a slight edge.
Yep, I am cool with that. And replay value?
That's River Valley Glassworks.
Yeah.
Okay. The length of time and scaling well is fine with River Valley Glassworks. I think for me, Alibis plays a little bit quicker. More players you get in River Valley, it's going to take longer.
Although I feel like once you've played it, you've played it.
Yeah, it's just the words are different, and it's just like how you're going to do the concepts.
No, I meant for River Valley. Oh, yeah. I don't think there's any variable to how you play it.
Yeah, the minimum. But here's the thing I was talking about, like Alibis. Well, yeah, I guess you're right. Cause
Alibis has way more variability.
Yeah, it does. The only thing River Valley would get would be the expansion. They have one expansion that came out in the Kickstarter. That's about it. But yeah, I get your... And the thing is, Alibis, I think, holds up to 7 people. Yeah. River Valley is, 4? Unless you have that expansion, it goes to 5, something like that. Does that mean Alibis move on?
That means Alibis moves on.
Okay.
All right. Dark Horse, all of a sudden. Send your hate mail to Daniel at everydayboardgames.com.
Here's the thing, too. Alibis is one of those games we're talking about where they brought over from Japan. This is a Japanese game that has been remade.
Super clever. Yeah. All right, cool. Well, River Valley Glassworks is gone. Our number 1 ranked seed right off the bat. That's tough. Oof, and I just saw the votes.
Yeah, I'm writing stuff down. So.
Our next round is Things in Rings versus our number 7 seed, Rainbow. Here we go.
I like one of these more than the other.
I do too. You're starting off.
And please pull I get Rainbow.
All right, thank goodness. I don't remember this enough.
I don't remember this one enough. Here's my thing with Rainbows, and I think it's a fine game. It's my least favorite of the 3 that we were talking about when it comes to the small box things. My issue with this one is that it's kind of convoluted with that rule book, and I get why they have like these small rule books.
Yeah.
It's basically you're playing rummy, sort of, card shedding, sort of, and you're playing these cards out, and you're either scoring based on a run or a set.
Yep.
And so if I play like 2 1s, I'm winning basically, and someone has to beat me with 2 2s or something like that. Mm-hmm. And kind of trick taking as well. So if I play a run or a set of 2 2s, then the next person has to play 2 3s or 2 4s and stuff like that to beat my set. And so then you're going to score cards. I can't remember how you get the points, but there's going to be 3 cards on the table, and first player gets to score a certain set of cards. So if there's multiple 4s, they get both of those 4s in your cards, and that goes in your score pile. And then we play in the next round, and you can play a run. So 2, 3, 4, 5, and someone's run has to be better than my 2, 3, 4, 5, that kind of thing. It's cool. The artwork's interesting, honestly. It looks a little cutesy, but I can't see this moving on just because it's not going to win ease of play.
No.
Because that rule set is just, it's so convoluted. Like Panda, much simpler to understand, much easier to read. Prey, much easier to understand, even with that little twist, much easier to play.
Yep.
Because of the way this works, where it mixes the trick taking with the card shedding, that's where it is going to not. Yeah, it becomes a little much. The replay value, it's pretty much the same time you're going to play this game. There is a lot of meaningful choice when you're trying to decide what you're doing with these cards, how I'm going to do this run. But that only comes down to after the dealt cards. I don't know what's going to come into my hand, how I'm going to play these cards out. I could have a really trash hand, and then what's going to happen to me now? That kind of thing. So that is a thing that trick-taking runs into sometimes, but there's ways to mitigate that in a lot of the trick-takings that are coming out. This one, it doesn't feel like it can do that. The art's great. The production value, the card stock, fantastic. Is the game fun to lose? Yeah, I had a good time playing it. I don't know if I'm going to end up keeping it by any means. There's some player interaction, but not a lot. It's hard for me to argue for Rainbow to move on.
Okay. Well, Things in Rings, it's a kind of a logic-esque game. I'll explain what I mean by that here in a minute. But you have essentially 3 rings that are different colors, and they comprise a Venn diagram, a 3-leveled Venn diagram.
Attributes.
Yeah, like physical material or something.
Yeah, it's like something could be like this can be found in a school.
Or use or whatever, yeah. And so you have these 3 little like categories that they kind of go with. Now here's
word, context, and attribute. Those are the 3.
Word, context, and attribute. Yeah. So what happens is players take turns. They're trying to be the first to get rid of the cards in their hand. Now, you a la like timeline style. If you play a card, you're going to be placing it in one of like those different rings, or multiple rings, or in the very center of all 3, or even outside of all of them.
And one person is not playing in the game for the time being because they're basically
one person is just answering the questions for the clues. So, like, for example, if my hidden word was bread, right, and Daniel put something in the attributes part of it, like that's, I don't know, a rocking horse. Obviously that wouldn't work, right? Mm-hmm. But it might go in, like, colors or something. Maybe it could, right? Yeah. And so if it doesn't make sense, then you go, no, but it does, and you put it where it does belong. The person who knows the secret word. Otherwise, if it does go in there, you just give them a thumbs up. It stays in there, and that's one fewer card that the
person
has.
Will know all 3 of the secrets: the context, the context, the word, and the attribute. And the word is something like a vowel following a consonant, something like that. And so it's some simple stuff like that. It can get harder, but that's the concept of it. Yeah,
exactly. So you have a bunch of different little ones. This is good for some people who like stuff like Zendo, maybe. Mm-hmm. I adore Zendo, personally, where it's like, it's where you're trying to figure out the one caveat to what it's about, where it's like, okay, does this count? No, but this would, or this wouldn't. Mm-hmm. And using that information, that deduction, then you can start figuring out if you're actually on the right track. Because you don't have to figure out what the word is. You just have to put it in the right spot. Mm-hmm. And if you get rid of all your cards, you win. By the way, if you get it wrong, then you have to draw a card to replace. Yeah. It's a simple enough game. I like it. I
highly recommend the co-op variant.
The co-op variant, yeah. It looks interesting.
Oh, it's so good.
I'm going to be honest.
You basically have 10 rounds to get everybody's cards out.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Now, here's the thing, though. Every time I've played this, and this was at the convention, I think we played it as a group once, I've always felt it felt flat. Every single time. Like, this is one that I actively was so excited for. I remember this being on one of my anticipated lists even. Yeah. And I will not buy it.
Because and it's funny, it fell flat for you, and it's just like one of my go-to games.
And that's great. Like, I get why it is. Like, and I know I'm in the minority there, but for some reason, it always devolves to, like, the person who's giving the clues just thinking about it for, like, 10 minutes and going, I mean, I guess, kind of. And then there's so many just, like, I don't know if it's the words that they picked or how they do the categories or whatever the reason being. Is just that it's so just... it doesn't work in the experiences I've had, but it has worked better than Rainbow has.
Oh, too. Yeah. Oh,
Rainbow hasn't succeeded
honestly, yet. I think it's the Venn diagram games that don't work for you. Because like every Venn diagram
really don't.
They fall flat on you.
Venn from the Op was okay.
Okay.
But it was okay. Like, Things in Rings, me and Dom, when we played the prototype one that was at the convention, we were very much wanting to leave before the game was over. We were just like, look, it doesn't even make sense at this point. So I don't know. I can see why it would move on over Rainbow. I do think it's a better game than Rainbow, but I'm not going to be championing it, unfortunately.
Well, yeah, no, I think it's got better game immersion. There is a lot more talk in that sort of thing. Because Rainbow, half the time, is like, how do I do this again?
Yeah.
Art and production, which I think that will specifically be...
Rainbow.
Rainbow.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because there's more art and the production is fine. The art is kind of nice in there. It kind of reminds me of like that cartoony 70s style art in there.
I mean, I think it's Sai Beppo also.
Yeah, yeah.
Like it's... Or Beppo. Forgive me, I
don't know
how to say it. But yeah, that artist is fantastic.
Meaningful choice?
I mean, definitely Things in Rings.
Okay. Easy play, I think, is Things in Rings as well.
Yeah. I don't disagree.
And then replay value,
Things in Rings.
Things in Rings.
Without a doubt. Yep.
All right, Things in Rings moves on.
Sounds good. On to our round 3, we have Factory Funner versus Lure.
Hey, look. My headache game.
Here we go. You're starting again.
Oh, jeez.
This coin likes you today.
I get Lure, thank God.
I don't mind arguing. I've owned the original one, so I'm okay with this.
Lure is at its core just a push your luck game, honestly. You have so many dice behind your screen, and you're rolling dice to try to capture fish. Whoever has the most points at the end of the game wins. But the thing about the dice is you have anywhere from a D4 to a D12, I believe. Mm-hmm. And then you can't get those dice back until you use all your dice. So I have to use a 6 to go after this fish over here, and here's the different things over there. I like this game a lot. In fact, I still own this game. I think it's over on that shelf over there. And I enjoy this a whole lot more than Factory Funner, just for the simple fact that it did not give me a headache. Factory Funner, I will say this, will win meaningful choice hands down.
Yes.
Because arbitrary choice is a thing in Lure. Because you're just rolling dice and you're beholden on what number you roll.
Yep.
And then you can't get your dice back until a certain thing happens.
Yep.
I like that aspect of it. But Factory Funner gave me one of the worst headaches I ever got from board gaming. Because it's like, oh my God, I got this real-time thing over here where I got to grab these tokens over here, and then I got to put it on my board, and I got to figure out why I put it on the board, but then I have to make a connection to this thing to happen here, but these can overlay that, but that's it. That's all. You can only overlay once, and that kind of thing. It's like, ow, my head hurts, and then we played this. I don't know if I think it was a 3-player game, and it took us about an hour and a half to get it done, and I had the biggest headache when we were done with that. I had to take ibuprofen and everything. It's just... It was a chore.
I remember it. It hurt you. It broke you.
It broke me. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. We just recently played a game, and we'll probably end up talking about it next week if you record with me. If not, it could be with someone else. But that broke Gamehead Geek's brain. Yeah. This was the one that broke my brain. I just okay, I did this. Oh, that's not the one I wanted to grab. But you also don't want to be the first one to grab because it's a negative for you. Yeah. And so, but Lure, it's pretty simple. I'm trying to catch that fish. I got to roll these dice. Yeah. So, ease of play, fantastic for Lure. I love the little push your luck aspect of it. I enjoy the look of Lure too. The dice are great. The component quality is great. Factory Funner has a good stuff on that too, but I get into Lure way more than I get into Factory Funner because at that point, I'm not interacting with you guys. I don't even care what the heck you guys are doing. In lore, I'm like, don't go for that fish. Don't you do it. That's my fish. And you should have seen this fish. It was like this big. When it's like this big. That kind of game. We get into the fisherman role kind of thing. Yes, I think lore moves on just because I don't want to talk about the headache anymore.
So, no, I do think Factory Funner moves on, and I'm going to explain why. I mean, I don't blame you. I really don't. Because that was one of the reasons I got rid of the original copy, is because it's just like, it is such a clever puzzle. It is a perfect representation of what you actually needed to do, because in Factory Funner you have a bunch of hexagonal tiles, and you're trying to basically get different kinds of inks into different kinds of pots, and you're trying to make as many tiles that are pulling
it's an efficiency puzzle.
Style. It's an efficiency puzzle, and again, it's one of those games that for the people it works for.
Bingo style, what?
Isn't it?
No, it's
you draw. It's the tiles,
real. You draw the tiles, and it's real time grabbing whoever goes first.
Yes, that's
you look at those. You look at your board. You look at those. You look at your board, and then you're gonna try to grab it before everybody else, or at least second.
Yep, exactly. So no, you're just trying to make this consistent puzzle that connects everything and converts everything and does what you need to. Efficiency puzzle. It makes sense, and for the type of game that appeals to, it is the perfect game for them. Like, that makes sense. Again, I liked it, but I have other games that I prefer over Factory Funner. Lure is fun, but the thing is, it is super lucky. And, and very like
that's why it won't get meaningful choice.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't get that. But I mean, like, so lucky that it's like it really kind of doesn't matter. Like, it's you're just chucking dice and hoping for the best. If you go into it not seriously, like as if it's just like the most random game in the world, then yeah, you're not gonna be let down. But anything higher than that, it's like I don't know, it's kind of tough. But game immersion, I mean, memorable moments. Like, you remember the headache.
That is not a memorable moment.
No, it is a memorable moment. Because you bring that up during some of the games I show you, and you're like, you know what? I remember how much I hated it. So I'm going to bring that up. I'm going to say that is a memorable moment.
I know, but I'm just saying, it's just that's not really a memorable moment. That's more of a, the pain.
Yeah. And the player interaction is there because it's fun to pick on you for dying.
There is literally no player interaction out of this then, because I'm not even paying attention to what you guys are doing.
Yeah,
I'm like, just someone don't take that thing over there.
Yeah, exactly. But is the game fun to lose? Absolutely not. Like, it's really...
That's why I think. Like, game immersion, lore wins this one hands down, because I have a blast with it compared to other stuff. Like, when you get that really good roll and we're able to pick up that big fish, like the pike or something like that, it's like, yes, all right, awesome. It was very lucky. But that's what fishing is. Sometimes you're very lucky, so... What
do you think about art and production, though? Now, I'll give Lure credit because the polyhedral dice are, like, kind of custom. They have unique, it was handwriting.
Honestly, I love the art in...
on Lure?
On Lure. Those fish drawings on there are some of the best... Like, it's up there with, like, fin span fish. I really do. I'm like... They really push the budget.
A little more cartoony, but nice,
they really push the budget on that aspect of it compared to some of their other games. Yeah. Like, it's like, that's the main production was going into the art of this game.
Okay, so I can agree with that. Art and production, game immersion, lore, meaningful choice, Factory
Funner.
Ease of play. Let's get back to that. Factory replay value.
Lore has one expansion. It has the Deep Waters expansion.
Factory Fun has a sequel.
I know, but...
Factory Funner.
But we're arguing the sequel, not the actual Factory Fun.
It has a prequel.
That's not even produced by Allplay.
That doesn't matter.
You can't integrate them.
It's a prequel. You can't integrate a prequel with
That's not expandability, though.
That's not expandability. I'm just trying to argue semantics here. Okay. Length of time and scaling, well, it does actually play quick.
Oh, it does, yeah. Both of them play pretty quickly.
And neither of them, I think, give a really meaningful, like, replay value.
Yeah, here's the replay value of the minimum number of plays of the full experience. Have you seen all the fish and lure? No, then you haven't seen everything yet, but the game concept is the same every time. And that's the same thing with Factory Funner.
So, okay, replay value to lure?
Yeah, I guess so.
And then ease of play, it doesn't matter because lure moves on.
Honestly, ease of play, I would say lure just for the simple fact that you're just chucking dice.
Yeah. There you go. So Factory Funner, sorry, does not move on. All right, Ghosts of Christmas.
This one hurts me because these are two of my favorite games.
And a message from the stars. Here we go. I'll be starting us off for once.
All right, and you get a message from the stars.
Yes, let's go. Okay. So, I wanted to talk about this one because this one, out of all of these games, has my biggest memorable moment.
I know what you mean.
And I got to share it with the viewers because let me tell you about this memorable moment. I was playing as the person giving out the messages, and
you were the alien.
I was the alien, and the two other players were the ones deducing the answer. And I was giving them the information. I was giving them out the letters. They were figuring it out. There was one point during the game. Oh, so the way it works is that you basically, letters create, like, essentially a math equation. Like, where certain letters are, like, +1. Some of them is like, ×2 or whatever, right? And then the very end one, there's, like, a single letter that's, like, a little harder. But it's a -1 if it exists or something like that. Mm-hmm. So if it's an even number, you know you didn't include the last number. But if it's an odd number, you know you did.
If there's a minus in there, there's something subtracting.
Yeah, or, I mean, possibly, you know you did. But because you're just playing out the number factors of whatever letter it is, they basically create a word and you give them that number based on what it is, and they try and deduce which letters do and don't exist based on the words that they give subsequently. Mm-hmm. That sounds boring and homework the way I described it, but it's actually super engaging because when I was the alien giving out the clues, there was one point where I gave them the answer. And my two partners, this is a cooperative game, by the way. My two partners, never mind. I don't know what you're asking for. Okay. My two partners spent 45 minutes straight debating on every letter that is possible and which option that they had. And normally in a game where you're just giving one piece of information and then you wait 45 minutes would be absolutely miserable. I mean, just absolutely miserable. But listening to them debate and knowing what the answer is was one of the funniest things I've ever seen. No, I'm sorry, 3 partners. I had 3 partners. Yeah. One of them was just, at one point, like after 30 minutes of debate, they both like pause and go, "Hey, third friend, what are your thoughts on that?" And she just replied, "I think you're thinking way too hard." and we just like erupted in laughter because that was the best answer we could have hoped for. It was super engaging. Game immersion, you can't even tell me that Ghosts of Christmas. Although, I have another slight story about that as well. That I played with one of the same friends that I played with A Message from the Stars. And because of the way that works, it's a trick-taking game. You have to bid, and if you don't get your bid, you don't get points. And there was multiple times where I just overbid by like 1 or 2, like every time, and I went into the very last round with 0 points. And then, so I made the joke, it's like, I know I can't win now, so I'm going to try and aim for 0. I'm shooting the moon, and I lose on my terms. And that's been an ongoing saying with that same friend, too. So they're both memorable, but Message from the Stars, like, you can't just sit and idle for 45 minutes and not be engaged. Or not be engaged in the gameplay, but still be entertained without getting that game immersion.
Yeah.
That's my thought. Art and production, they're both fine. Ghost of Christmas, I love the artwork. I love the theming on it. That's really cool. Meaningful choice, though. Message from the Stars, it turned a word game into, like, mathematical logic, which is really bizarre, but it does work.
Very well.
Yeah, very well. And meaningful choice, like, I mean, that has to go with it. Whereas ease of play, I'm not saying Ghost of Christmas is easy.
It's not.
But replay value is definitely Message from the Stars in my mind.
Oh, yeah. Just the minimum number of plays for what you're doing on that one.
Yeah. So, I think Message from the Stars should move on. But now it's your turn.
Ghost of Christmas, I like this one a lot. In fact, this is probably my favorite outside. Yeah, I think I still like this more than Prey when it comes to the Allplay trick-taking games.
Sure.
But, and here's my big caveat in this game, and this is why I have issues with Ghost of Christmas as well as you do, is that I prefer the Tiny Tim variant where you're not playing the bidding part of the game. Right. You're playing the shoot the moon aspect, and you get more points if you don't win a trick.
Right.
And I like that variant so much more than the bidding aspect. Don't get me wrong, I don't mind bidding trick-taking games.
No.
I like...
There's a time and a place.
I like Cat in the Box that does it really well, where you're bidding, but it's not you're not getting 0 points.
No.
If you win your bid, you just get extra points, that kind of thing. I like that aspect of bidding games. Is like, okay, I hit my 3, and now I get some extras, and now I get to score up something. I like that aspect. With this one, I think the Tiny Tim variant is so much better. That should be the base variant that everybody learns, because this way it's an easier trick-taking to teach, because there's a twist on this trick-taking as well as the other things, because you're playing in 3 different timelines. If someone plays the first card in the past timeline and it's red, then we always have to follow suit with red in that timeline. But I'm like, I don't want to play red. I want to win one of these tricks. Okay, I'm going to play the yellow in the future timeline. Now, everybody has to play yellow in the future timeline because I set that one. And then the third set could be like someone plays the, I forget what it's, blue in the, because they're like, I don't want to play in any of these other sets because I got nothing in these sets. So I'm going to play blue in this one. And now I can try to guarantee myself winning at least one of these 3 tricks that you're playing in this round. And so then play keeps going around until we play all the tricks into all the timelines kind of aspect, and then we trigger, okay, this is the past, this plays here, this wins this trick, this wins this trick. All right, and I think we go through a couple rounds. And I like what this does. How's it going, Crate? It is a fantastic, fun trick-taking game that has a decent twist that's not too hard. In fact, our friend Gamehead Geek, who's not a huge trick-taking fan, was okay with this one just because it's like, okay, I'm just playing in these 3 things. That's all I got to worry about. Again, I personally only play it as the Tiny Tim variant because it's the easiest part to teaching. Eventually, I can showcase the bidding and stuff like that, but not everybody loves bidding trick-taking games. And only some trick-taking games, when it comes to the bidding, does it well. Like I mentioned, Cat in the Box is one of the good examples of that one. Or what's the one that you like that you talk about all the time? Pepper. Those are decent trick-taking bidding games that work. I don't think Ghost of Christmas trick-taking bids work very well. And the fact the Tiny Tim variant makes it so much better. So for me, I don't disagree with you. A Message from the Stars does have most of these other categories. I mean, I love that tactile decision that you have to make, or the tactics that you have to do in Ghost of Christmas. Like, I have these red cards. Do I fake them out, or do I want to set something? Because if somebody sets something, I'm screwed. And then or if, say, someone sets it in yellow and I have the 12 and the 11 in yellow, then I can still beat them if they set it there yellow. Or am I screwed with these cards in my hand? That kind of thing. And I love that tactical decision on that aspect of it. But A Message from the Stars just has that. It's like, okay, what words can I give here to clue in what we're doing here for them to figure out what is the message that I'm trying to give across. And it just, I don't know. I like Ghost of Christmas, but I don't think it moves on either.
Okay. So we agree. Message from the Stars moves on.
Yeah.
Okay. Message from the Stars.
We've had a lot of upsets in this one. Our 8, our 5, and our 6 has moved on. Only 2 is the high end there. So let's see here. I need to find some numbers here. That is fine.
And I do feel you on the Tiny Tim variant, because the problem is if you permanently play with a variant, that's a bad time. And my problem with bidding in a trick-taking game is I feel bidding is only just a way for people to flex that they feel clever.
Yes, exactly.
And it's great that if you get that level of confident and you get that good at bidding trick-taking games, that's great. And for those players, that makes perfect sense. But if you're playing with any other gamer, that takes them out of it.
Yeah, here's my big issue with Ghost of Christmas is, like, you have this variant in there, and you're all about making things simpler for people to play the games, and then add complexity with variants. Why don't you just swap the 2 and make the Tiny Tim the base game, and then add the bidding as the variant if people want to take it to the next level? That is my big gripe about it. That is hands down one of their worst mistakes that they did for this game. But I also understand this also came over from Japan. And so the bidding might be the thing, and they threw in the Tiny Tim variant just to kind to make it easier for other people who don't really play bidding trick-taking games.
Exactly. Cool. All right.
What
were the votes?
The first one eliminated was our number 1 seed and also our number 1 vote getter, too. River Valley Glasswork had 39% of the vote.
We're sorry.
The next one that was eliminated was Rainbow which was our 7th seed. It had 1% of the vote. Next up was our number 3 seed, Factory Funner, getting eliminated. It had the 1% of the vote as well. And then the last one, Ghost of Christmas, we just talked about, ended up losing 1% of the with only 1% as well.
So they kind of more or less align with us, except for River Valley Gladiators.
Yeah, we're kind of like,
we don't want to. All right, next round, we're going to go Things in Rings versus Alibis. Here we go. These are more apt to be compared, I think. You'll be starting us off.
And I get Alibis.
Okay.
All right. Everything we said about Alibis last time kind of works in the same aspect, too. Yep. It is one of the simplest party games. In fact, Things in Rings, again, when we were talking about Ghost of Christmas, if they flipped the co-op variant and made it the base game and then gave us the competitive variant, I think it would have been a lot better for people because you're playing a competitive party game. And sometimes those work and sometimes they don't. And Things in Rings, I think the competitive side of things just kind of falls flat. When you're playing the cooperative where one person has the cards, they know the secrets, and they're trying to feed the secrets to people by placing their own hand of cards in the rings, that works really well as a competitive game. Okay. Whereas, and that's the problem.
Or a cooperative game, right?
Yeah, as a cooperative game. Alibis, straight out of the box, is that. It's a cooperative game where we're trying to work together to deduce who the criminal actually is and how these other people have their alibis. Basically, a combination of So Clover and code names, that kind of aspect of, how do these two things work together? And sometimes you have these wild combinations like, oh my God, how do I tie these together? Well, there was one time, I think it was a game with you, where I had rings and skiing, and I had to put up the code as Olympics. And you're like, oh, wait, it was rings and medals. That's what it was. It is like, Olympics because you get medals and the symbol is the ring. So I had to make those correlations. It's like, and there's times where you're just like, oh my God, how am I going to do this? How is this going to work properly? And it just does every time. I've shown this to multiple groups and everybody had fun. I need to show it to our other group as a bigger group because I'm not a huge fan of the 2-player variant. Is basically we get 4 people that we have to alibi up and it's just 2 different pairs.
Yeah,
that's the only difference. Like if you're playing a 3-4 player,
it kind of broke my brain a little bit.
Yeah, when you're doing it, but if you're playing it as a group, you only get one set, and then you're doing the normal thing.
Okay,
I like that aspect. You're just trying to take these tokens down to make it easier for you to win the game. If you deduce who the guy is after 3 rounds, you pretty much win. Because you're taking stuff out. If people deduced what your character is, I get to take one of these tokens out. If I deduce what your character is, I get to take one of these tokens out. And we keep going around the table. And then if you deduce who the big bad is, you get to take like 3 of these tokens out, or 1 per person that got the big bad. So if there's a 4-player game, that's 4 tokens I get out if everybody deduced who the big bad is.
Yep.
And so I like that aspect. It's a much simpler game than Things in Rings can be at times because of the complexity of the way they were. The words. Okay, this has to have double vowels back to back. So like something like vacuum would work because it has 2 U's. That kind of thing. Okay, that one works. So it works in here. But then you're also having to try to tie, okay, this has double letter words, but you can find in a house. Okay, so it matches in this concept. When this other one is very loud. All right, so it hits all 3. So how do we deduce that kind of aspect in Things and Rings? Yep. And there are so many cards in there that you're like, okay, I think this kind of works, and everybody's trying to figure out the concept of what these 3 different attributes are, or I forget what they're actually called because attribute is one of the things you're trying to go for. And it's fun. I like it. It's a great game. But it works so much better as the co-op, and you were mentioning about Ghost of Christmas, when the variant is the best way to play it, then maybe it should have been the base.
Yep.
And so that's why I think Alibis work so much better and should move on.
I don't disagree with that. I think Alibis should move on as well, but I will be arguing for Things and Rings. Again, the concept of it is sound, and the logic that goes into it with something that's like a pure logic game like Zendo is a brilliant logic game. Mm-hmm. The only bad part, the reason this takes it away from that pure logic is the variability of words, right? Mm-hmm. Like, what if my word is bass? Well, it could be bass. and then therefore it becomes a problem, right?
No, it does not have a problem in Things and Rings because they have a photo of what it's actually describing.
Oh, sure, okay, fine. But like,
I get what you're saying, but they have the photo.
Yeah, but what I'm saying though is that it's just like I get what you're trying to do, but there's so many variables. Like
the ambiguity of the person who holds the clues is that is where it hurts.
Right. Well, it's not just their ambiguity. It's because they have to make concessions in a lot of ways to justify why they do or don't think that.
Yeah.
No,
I get it.
Like
we've
a
run into
game
that
like
problem.
Masterword like solves that problem, where it's like if you're giving clues, it's like, does this count or not? It only counts if it's actually beneficial to the players. That's the only way it counts. So even though it's like technically, yeah, it does. It's like, does this animal eat worms? It's like, well, yeah, a cow might have, because it eats grass, so it might eat worms. That's not helpful to the answer. Yeah. So therefore, it doesn't count. If it had that level of clarity in it, then, because like every single question we answered, or we had Gamehead Geek do it, it's like, well, is it made out of metal or is it made out of wood? It's like, both. But which one is it more? It depends on which one, right? It was just constantly doing that, and that's what I didn't like.
I'll have to show you the co-op variant. I think it might swing better for you. Maybe when it comes to that.
Maybe that'll fix the solution. But Things and Rings, I mean, it had a bad taste in my mouth because of that reason.
Ambiguity, yeah.
Yeah, the ambiguity. So let's break it down real quick because I'm not sure which one does move on, but I do think I know which one it is. Game immersion, alibis. Art and production, alibis. Meaningful choice.
Again, it's the ambiguity, I think, is the hindrance.
Yeah, you know what? Alibis. Yeah. I think alibis moves on.
I think alibis is simpler, too. And I don't know about replay value. Alibis and Things and Rings pretty much take the same amount of time. And now, don't get me wrong. I play Things and Rings probably more than I play alibis. It's just a simple game to get to the table with my other game group. But I agree with you. I think alibis moves on.
Alibis moves on. All right.
Alibis is making a run.
Yeah, it is. All right, next round is Message from the Stars versus Lure. Here we go. I'll be signing this one off.
You get Lure.
Lure, okay. As we said before, simple dice chucking, kind of fun. Real simple for what you're doing. You're trying to see if it's enough where you take which dice you want to go for. You can get them back later, but is it ready for you to go for it? Do you want to roll a lot of dice hoping for the best, knowing that you're not going to get it? Sometimes you're like, oh, I just barely missed out because you rolled low. You know, it is what it is. It's silly. It's fun.
It's a lucky dice game. Come on.
It is a lucky dice game, and therefore I don't think it's moving on.
You're like, I'm done. Well, then again, it's going up against Message from the Stars.
Yes.
Which is by far one of my favorite all-play games that they've come out with. I hunted this game.
Yep.
I had to go to Denver to a store that you can recommend to finally find the copy of this game. Black and Red up in Arvada, Colorado, which is just north of Denver. Found it. It was their last copy, and I had to move stuff out of the way, and I found it in there. And they're like, oh, all right, I didn't even know that was there because they couldn't find it themselves because there was so much stuff there. But yeah. And I got it played, and we enjoy the mess out of it. And we have a blast playing this one. My only gripe about A Message from the Stars, and I agree with you, I think it's more than likely going to move on compared to Lure, is that it can get long in the tooth. Yes, you're enamored and sitting there and listening to people argue for 45 minutes, and that is a fun, memorable moment. But you don't want to be playing a game that's kind of pretty simple for an hour and a half to 2 hours. That is one of its drawbacks that can lead to it. Now, have I ran into that problem? No. I've run into a little bit of lengthiness of this game when they're just trying to math like, okay, he's got to be using this and this and this and this and that kind of thing. And so I think it works very well for what it does, but it can run a little long in the tooth. So, and this is one of the games I hope they would do an expansion for. Just a small one. Give us a little bit more cards that can give us the message and stuff like that.
Sure.
Because you have that where you're trying to write out what the message is.
Yep.
And so that is, I think, Message of the Stars should move on.
I agree. A Message from the Stars. All right. Cool.
All right. With that being said, Things in Rings just got eliminated. It has 7% of the vote. And the last one, lovely Lure, making a deeper run than I expected it to do.
Yeah.
Had 5% of the vote. So, I mean, the people like this one, too, pretty
much
well.
so, yeah. Cool. So we have our final: A Message from the Stars versus Alibis. And now in this final round, we do not flip the coin of doom. We do not pick from the cup of doom. We just break it down with our G.A.M.E.R criteria. If you're with us live, vote for which one you think is going to make it. Here we go. Is there any that stick out to you immediately?
Honestly, there's one. Ease of play. I think that's Alibis.
I agree. I absolutely agree with that. Because making 2 words match versus an algorithm of math.
Yeah. And it's just for that reason. I'm like
I mean, it's clever.
It's clever, but
it's not. Is it fun? No. It's not. Is it easy? No.
And it's not one of those things that are like a simple mechanism for people to understand. It's like, hey, here's the word I'm giving you, and here's the math. Now deduce how I came up with that number.
Yes, exactly.
Whereas this one is like, hey, you see that golf ball, and you see that putter over there or something like that. Yep. Figure out something that can go into that word. It's that simple. Any other one that sticks out to you? Because not really for me.
Art and production.
Okay.
I feel goes to Alibis as well.
Okay.
Because the art in it is really good.
There's not really a lot of art in Message from the Stars.
No,
but it does. Screen. That has that. I was gonna say it has that beautiful screen.
Yes, the screen is really nice.
The only reason why it's in that big of a box is because that screen.
Yeah, but the characters in A Message from the Star work out really well.
Yeah.
All right. Game immersion.
Both teams are fun to lose.
They are.
I have a blast playing both of these games. Both of these games lead to memorable moments.
You're right. Now, and again, like the fact that I sat for 45 minutes, I would have been very upset otherwise if it was almost any other game. But it worked for that one.
It works. It's one of those games that we always talk about where, like you talked about with Fliptoons, that it works when it shouldn't.
Yes.
And and so Message from the Stars falls into that same category for me. Mm-hmm. It's like, I don't know who wins this one, though, because...
Okay, which one? They're both fun to lose.
Yes.
Player interaction.
Both have those in droves, too.
I think there's more player interaction in Alibis because
of
everyone gives clues, not just one person sitting idly by.
Well, the other group gives clues as well.
Yeah,
in Message from the Stars. They give a word back.
Right. But that's really just a guesswork, and you confirm whether it's happening or not.
Yeah, that's true.
And then if you're the alien, you're literally just giving.
And there's literally no communication really, other than laughing. Is like, why would this be happening, kind of thing.
I didn't feel like an alien per se while I was up there, but while in Alibis, it's like, I came up with a really weird alibi for them. Sure.
Well, that just means Alibis wins.
There we go.
It's got 3 out of 2. Meaningful choice. I honestly think that goes to A Message from the Stars.
I agree with that. Yeah.
And let's just to make it simple, even though Alibis already moves on, which one do you think has better replay value? I think that is also Message from the Stars. The length and time and scaling that is Alibis, but because of all the different things that is going on in Message from the Stars and how different each game is going to be based on what letters you're putting into the blind. And I don't know about expansions. Neither one of these have expansions. Whereas the only difference that you're going to get in Alibis for the minimum number of plays of full experience is just the different words. Though I will say this on the art and production aspect for Alibis, what they did for the words are fantastic. Okay, these are the first round words. Mm-hmm. You don't have to pull out new words. Just flip the cards over to the other side. Around. Yeah.
Problem solved. Yep. That makes sense.
I thought that was a smart graphic design choice.
Yeah.
But I think Message gets 2 of the 3.
Okay, sure, I'll go with that. It doesn't change the outcome at all.
It doesn't change it at all. Well, we have the G.A.M.E.R criteria patent pending. We have to use it all.
Exactly, that's right. So Alibis, congratulations for being the number 1 all-play game.
I was not expecting that.
Yeah, I was expecting River Valley Glassworks to just run it.
Yeah.
But Alibis knocked it out.
No, that was fantastic. That was a great one. Message from the Stars ended up with 3% of the vote, and Alibis, our winner, actually had 5% of the vote. I 5%. Think it was our tied for 3rd outside of the other groups.
Like Mountain Goats and all that stuff, yeah.
But yeah,
I can see why Mountain Goats got more votes, though.
Yeah, I just never played it, so it couldn't get on the list, or it would have been on the list.
I'll have to show you that. I think you would dig it. All right, cool. So we hope you've enjoyed that episode. And again, tell us your thoughts down below on the comments or however you listen to us. Comment. Let us know if you agree, if you disagree, why that is, why Daniel's wrong. And, And the
other thing, too, This is, I believe, yes it is, the last top 8 debate before we go into the Champions Edition in April. We're going to be making some changes, so look out for that.
That's right. So tune in the next month for that change. It's going to be exciting.
Yeah.
So if you ever want to email us at everydayboardgames2020@gmail.com, you can email us, whether that's to give us ideas for future episodes, to just reach out and say hello, or to give us ideas, or enter in contests if we run any of those. We haven't ran one of those in a while. We should do that. Yeah. All right. Or we have an Instagram, instagram.com/everydayboardgames. Check out the games that Daniel and I have been playing lately.
As well as some shenanigans that Hugh put up. Eventually. There's been other stuff going on, but mainly what we've been playing.
Shenanigans, let's be real.
Yeah, and all video re-uploads and reviews are found on youtube.com/@everydayboardgames. And if you like what we do, there are 3 things you can do to help us grow on the platform. Subscribe if you're not, like the video, and comment down below and tell us your thoughts on the subject.
You can also stream our episodes live at twitch.tv/everydayboardgames. Tune in for Matt that joined in, and Creative Chaos, 2 of our viewers that joined in today.
Yep.
And comment while you're there. Make sure you follow us so that we know that we're filming a live episode. And we love it when you butt in and tell us why one of us is wrong, or join in on the debate.
And people enjoy it because it throws him off tangent every time.
It does. But yeah, follow us there. It's great.
And all audio versions can be found on most podcast platforms under Everyday Board Games Podcast. This is good Spotify, Amazon Music, Podbean, and Apple.
So as always, I've been your host, Daniel.
And I've been your host, Daniel.
And we want to thank you for listening to Everyday Board Games.
And remember, every day is a good day for board gaming.